I'm in Paris, and it's Paris Fashion Week, and it's really inspired me to share some thoughts with you today from a piece that I've written. There's something about being here, surrounded by a city that's historically understood the difference between generational craftsmanship and mass production, between considered design and disposable trends, that's sharpened my thinking, specifically around aesthetics and longevity. Paris has always understood the difference between something that's built to last and when it's designed only to be temporarily consumed. And this makes it an inspiring place for me to articulate what I believe has happened within aesthetic medicine, and why the correction we're now witnessing wasn't only inevitable, but necessary. Trend-driven faces have become the fast fashion of aesthetics. By that, I mean faces shaped around a narrow and repeatable visual formula, rather than the individual that's sitting in front of you. Faces where natural movement's reduced or frozen in pursuit of uniform smoothness, where lips are overinflated until they dominate facial balance, and where chins and jawlines are built heavy and forward in ways that ignore skeletal proportion and both soft tissue dynamics, and where eyes are pulled or over-treated to chase fox eye aesthetics that often work against anatomy. These results may have been in pursuit of the Instagram face trend, a homogenized aesthetic that flattens difference and it rewards recognizability over individual identity. So in certain cultures and social environments, these faces also operate as a status symbol, a way of signaling success, access to care or being current, and also of belonging to a particular group. And when enough people adopt this same aesthetic taste, this sameness can start to feel safer rather than standing alone, even when it actually starts to erode individuality. You'll recognize it instantly because increasingly everyone's starting to look the same. These faces are recognizable not because they express personal style, but because they signal a moment in time that can become passé. This didn't happen in isolation, and it didn't happen necessarily because patients suddenly lost sophistication. Across many parts of the industry, the dominant systems of care shifted. Clinics increasingly adopted factory-style models built around high patient turnover, shortened consultations, and repetitive treatment patterns applied across vastly different faces. Success started being measured in volume rather than subtlety, longevity, or integrity of outcome. So when medicine started to become more of an assembly line, nuance and artistry aren't rewarded, and individuality is inevitably sacrificed in favour of what's fast, immediate, familiar, and commercially predictable. People's faces within this system become outputs. The rapid expansion of the unregulated aesthetic market intensified this dynamic even further. Cheaper products, inconsistent training standards, and limited anatomical understanding created a hothouse environment where trend-driven faces could be produced quickly and at scale, often without meaningful oversight or long-term accountability. And this was how fast fashion faces proliferated, not necessarily through bad intention, but through systems optimized for speed and for commercialization rather than care. It makes sense then that not only are patients at risk of very real medical complications, but also inconsistent, faulty aesthetic outcomes, just like fast fashion. My own patients have long understood the difference between sophistication and excess, between elevated natural outcomes and misplaced intervention for many years. They've never wanted to look like anyone else, and they've always valued discretion, facial longevity, and remaining recognizable to themselves and to others. Natural was never meant to be a trend. It was always the foundation of good aesthetic medicine and surgery. And an expensive face was never a bland face. True luxury in aesthetics is genetic nuance, mastery of application, and enhancement of attractiveness that's protected over time by a long-term vision. I'm personally hoping that the future of aesthetics isn't about extremes or about imitation, but an evolution of intelligence, attractiveness, and fundamentally care. And for clinicians, patients, and consumers alike to choose conscious mastery and identity over uniformity, to create true faces of both beauty and longevity that really stand the test of time. Paris has always known this, and I think it's time that aesthetic medicine and surgery did too. If you feel someone you care about needs to hear this, please subscribe, share it with them, and let us know in the comments the questions that you want answered in future episodes. As a thank you for being here, you can redeem an exclusive 15% saving on our one dermafacial in clinic, which has the addition of multiple wavelengths of red light therapy as a positive step to your own skin health longevity. Follow the link in the show notes and enter the code Paris15 to redeem your discount. Together, we are redefining how we age, how we look, how we live, and how we feel. I'm Dr. Jonquille Chantrey, and this has been Ageless.